This tiny monster just outsold the PlayStation 5 in China. It's been spotted hanging off K-pop idols, sparking riots in shopping malls, and now it's quietly crawling into your feed.
Labubu. Labubus.
Labubu.
Labubu. Labubu.
What's the Labubu?
Labubu isn't just a toy. It's a multi-billion-dollar obsession fueled by mystery boxes, manufactured FOMO, and a business model so clever it might just be a scam. And the craziest part? That's only the beginning. You probably thought it was just another weird toy trend, something quirky, harmless, maybe even a little cute. But Labubu, that furry, fangy creature with bunny ears and a grin that's way too wide, isn't just a toy. It's a movement, a money printing machine, and depending on who you ask, a full-blown cult. People are waiting overnight in front of stores, fighting over it, crying when they miss a drop, spending thousands on what, to the untrained eye, looks like a rabbit dressed for a Tim Burton audition. So, how did we get here? It all starts in Beijing, 2005. A guy named Wang Ning is running a tiny store selling DVDs and hairbands. No brand, no buzz, just a forgotten retail corner that most people walked past without even noticing. He had no art degree, no toy background, just one rare gift: the ability to spot patterns in human desire. One day while visiting Hong Kong, he saw it. People swarming a store filled with tiny sealed boxes. Inside each box, a surprise toy. The people buying them didn't know what they'd get. And that was the point. These weren't toys. They were triggers. Silent slot machines in plastic form, wrapped in dopamine. Ning didn't see figurines. He saw a future. By 2010, he launched Pop Mart. Not just a toy company, but a vending machine empire built on uncertainty. Cute, collectible figures packed in identical boxes. You pay, you open, you hope. Want the rare one? Try again, then again, and again. What looked like fun was really the beginning of a psychological experiment, one that's still running today. At first, the brand struggled, until they met their wildcard, a Belgian-Chinese illustrator named Ka-Sing Lung, who created a universe called The Monsters, filled with elvish, misfit forest creatures. At the center was Labubu, small, slightly sinister, oddly lovable. No backstory, no dialogue, just a strange little vibe that hit something deep and weird in people's brains. Pop Mart turned her into a brand. They produced her in plush, vinyl, statue, and keychain form, each one different. You never knew which version you'd get. Suddenly, Labubu wasn't just a toy. She was a collectible emotion, playful, chaotic, strangely comforting. And it spread fast, across Asia, into Europe, onto K-pop bags and Fashion Week runways. A creature with no show, no story, just a face, now sitting next to $10,000 purses. But here's the twist. There is no lore, no narrative arc, no episodes to watch. Labubu's magic is that you don't need to understand her to want her. She became an aesthetic virus, a blank slate for your feelings. So, why did the Thai government get involved? Why are grown adults treating blind boxes like scratch-offs? Why are collectors going broke chasing something they don't even open? Simple. It's not about the toy. It's about the void the toy fills. Because when you sell someone a mystery, you're not selling a product, you're selling a question. And Labubu? She's the question you keep paying to answer, again and again. You walk into a store. Or maybe you're online. Thumb hovering over a glowing checkout button. Heartbeat just slightly faster than normal. In front of you is a box. It's sealed. You don't know what's inside. It might be the common one. Another pink macaron Labubu you've already seen 10 times. Or it could be the secret rare, the glow-in-the-dark, gold-toothed, astronaut-suited bunny monster that drops once in every 144 boxes. You tell yourself it probably isn't, but your brain whispers, what if it is? This isn't retail. It's a slot machine in slow motion, a $15 coin drop wrapped in pastel foil. Open, disappoint, repeat. It's called intermittent reinforcement, and it's the most addictive psychological trigger in behavioral science. Every time you tear open a box, your brain gets a hit of dopamine, even when it's the same figure you just pulled. It's not about what's inside, It's about the chase, the possibility. And Pop Mart? They've weaponized that feeling. Each Labubu box is a calculated gamble, priced low enough to seem harmless, high enough to sting when you buy 10 at once. But the secret editions, the ones you post online for bragging rights, those can flip for hundreds, sometimes thousands, on resale platforms. And it's not because the toy changed, it's because the story around it did. The packaging rarely tells you the odds. Sometimes it doesn't even show you the full lineup. Mystery characters aren't just a bonus. They're bait. Hidden incentives that make your brain believe the next box might be the jackpot. And when you finally open one, there's no ceremony, no animation, just a silent, sealed plastic bag and a moment of hope. That's the drug. And when the drug wears off, people find ways to game the system. Some collectors weigh the boxes. Others bring portable X-ray machines. Reddit is full of diagrams and spreadsheets tracking drop ratios, suspected packaging patterns, rumored series codes. Entire YouTube channels are built around blind box unboxings, each one a slow-motion casino hit, framed in thumbnails that scream, "I finally got her." But most people don't. Instead, they get duplicates, triplicates, entire shelves of identical figures with only minor color differences, a nurse costume here, a pastel variation there. And every time, they say the same thing, just one more, this is the one. But the odds aren't on your side. That's the genius and the trap. Psychologist B.F. Skinner once studied pigeons in a box. Every time they pecked a lever, they got food, but only sometimes. Randomized rewards. The result? The pigeons became obsessed. They couldn't stop pecking, because they never knew which peck would be the lucky one. Swap the food pellet for a vinyl bunny in a Halloween suit, and now we're the pigeons. But unlike pigeons, we have Instagram accounts, credit cards, social pressures, communities that cheer when we finally get the rare, and shame when we give up. So we keep buying, keep posting, keep chasing the high. Because after all that time, money, and effort, we have to believe there's something meaningful at the end of it. But what if there isn't? Pop Mart doesn't sell toys, they sell hope, scarcity, surprise. They drop new Labubu waves every season, event exclusives, country-specific figures. Chase editions with no warning, just enough content to make you feel like you're missing something. Just enough reward to keep you in the game. And the worst part? The deeper you fall, the harder it is to quit, because you're no longer chasing the toy. You're chasing the version of yourself who finally pulls the rare, the one who wins, the one who feels complete. But what if that version doesn't exist? Labubu began as a toy, a strange one, part bunny, part goblin, part fever dream, but still just a toy. Then it became a trend, then a collectible. And before anyone could stop it, it became currency. Because somewhere along the way, people stopped buying Labubu for joy and started buying her for profit. A $15 blind box was flipping for $300. Secret editions were changing hands for more than the average rent payment. And suddenly, the question wasn't, which Labubu do I want? It was, which Labubu can I sell? Entire mini-economies formed around Pop Mart stores. In Bangkok, Seoul, Singapore, and beyond, people were camping overnight for drops, not to play, to profit. Some paid store staff for inside access. Others hired elderly proxy buyers to bypass per-customer limits. The goal wasn't to collect, it was to control supply and feed the resale market. Online, platforms like eBay, StockX, and niche collector forums became flooded with listings. Rare Labubus in unopened boxes, chase variants with altered colors, region-locked editions only released at special events. Prices climbed fast and showed no signs of slowing down. As demand soared, Pop Mart pivoted Labubu into something even more lucrative: fashion. Collaborations with designer brands began dropping. Labubu appeared in denim, sequins, gold. Entire plush runs were styled like high-end streetwear. Statues were produced with ultra-smooth textures, custom prints, and seasonal costumes. Some were sold in pop-ups, others at exclusive events. And just like that, Labubu crossed the line from toy to lifestyle flex. You didn't just buy her, you wore her, displayed her, hung her off luxury bags like a badge, and the more exclusive it became, the more people wanted in. That's when the counterfeiters came. Fake boxes started circulating, nearly identical to the originals. Seals were forged, rares were repainted. Entire resale scams emerged online, offering fake pre-orders and knockoff plushes that fooled even seasoned collectors. One scam in Thailand stole over $60,000 from fans before police stepped in. Things got so chaotic, government agencies had to issue warnings to protect the public. Pop Mart responded by printing blacklight security markings on Labubu's foot, yes, like real money, to verify authenticity. They opened official concept stores in multiple countries, complete with brand ambassadors, mascots in full costume, and velvet rope-style product drops. One flagship store opened in Bangkok with national tourism backing. Labubu, once a fringe art toy, was now a cultural icon, a symbol of international hype, soft power, and economic potential. And still, demand kept climbing, because now Labubu wasn't about fun. She was about access, proof you belonged, that you were in the know, that you got there before the prices exploded. People began treating her like cryptocurrency, like a sneaker drop, like a status badge in plush form. Entire YouTube channels dedicated to unboxings, TikTok showing reseller haul stacks, Instagram pages documenting rarest to least rare rankings. The deeper you got, the more you spent. Not for joy, but for validation. But there's a problem with hype-driven markets. They're fragile. When the value of a product depends on exclusivity, it can't afford to become common. And when the joy of collecting turns into the anxiety of missing, something dark starts to grow underneath. Because when people start asking, "How much can I get for this?" instead of "Why do I even want it?" the crash isn't far behind. And what happens when that crash comes? Well, we're already starting to see it.
Keep getting the wrong Labubu color, like I'm sick of this shit! I hate you so much! I spent $300 on these stupid Labubus, bro. I want a pink one. That's the one I've been trying to get. If this isn't pink, bro, I'm crouching out. Please. Great! A waste of money, waste of time, all to get the color of vomit.
It always starts the same. One box, then another, then a shelf, then a wall. You tell yourself it's harmless, just a fun little hobby. But over time, you realize you're no longer collecting Labubu. Labubu is collecting you. The cracks are already showing. In Europe, Pop Mart's momentum has started to stall. Sales are down. Stores that used to have overnight lines now sit half-stocked. The buzz that once echoed across social media is starting to fade. Because the blind box model, the very engine that powered Labubu's rise, was never built for endurance. It was built for speed, for chaos, for urgency. And urgency burns fast. Collectors are burning out. Reddit is filled with regret threads. People unloading entire collections, selling duplicates they forgot they even had. Others post pictures of unopened boxes gathering dust, unopened because the magic is gone. You can almost hear the same sentence repeated, over and over. I don't even know why I bought this. And that's when it hits. Labubu wasn't just cute. She was controlling. Pop Mart designed a machine that rewards obsession. Rotating drops, region-locked exclusives, artificial scarcity, timed restocks, and secret figures that aren't even listed on the box. It's a dopamine factory with no off switch. And when people finally feel manipulated, they push back. Some walk away, others double down, desperate to justify the money already spent. But either way, the damage is done. It's not just toys anymore. It's sunk cost psychology. And the deeper you're in, the harder it is to admit that maybe you were never going to win this game. Online, a new kind of content is emerging. Anti-unboxings. Creators documenting their burnout. TikToks titled, "Why I'm Quitting Pop Mart." YouTube essays calling Labubu a dopamine scam. Whole communities urging newcomers to stop before they start. You begin hearing new terms, collector's remorse. blind box fatigue, dopamine debt. These aren't just internet buzzwords. They're symptoms of a system designed to drain you, box by box. And then, there's the weird part, the stories. Some say their Labubu plush moved in the night. Others claim they feel watched. A few even joke about it being cursed. But is it really supernatural? Or is it just the feeling of something that was once cute, taking up too much space in your life? People are hiding their purchases from family, skipping bills for one more shot at the rare, spending hours every night scouring reseller sites, looking for something they can't even explain. Not because it's beautiful, not because it brings joy, but because it's next. And Pop Mart? They're evolving too. They've added apps, loyalty tiers, limited time offers, personalized drops. It's not a toy store anymore. It's a casino in disguise. And you're not the customer. You're the data. Every purchase, every unboxing, every click, measured, modeled, replicated, until the cycle becomes your new normal. So no, the question isn't just, will Labubu collapse? That's not the scary part. The real question is, what happens to the people holding the box when they finally open it and realize they've been chasing smoke? Labubu isn't just a toy, she's a mirror, a reflection of what we chase, what we fear, and what we think will finally make us feel whole. Because the truth is, Labubu never asked for this. She didn't pitch herself as a fashion icon. She didn't crash websites or rig boxes. She didn't demand cult-like devotion. She just sat there, wide-eyed, silent, smiling, while we poured our money, emotions, and attention into her. Why? Because we needed her to be more than a toy. To some, Labubu is comfort, a pocket-sized piece of stability in an unpredictable world. To others, it's a flex, a sign you're early, you're plugged in, you're winning. And to many, it's just a distraction. From stress, from loneliness, from boredom, from that quiet, aching question most of us never say out loud, why don't I feel like enough? Pop Mart understood that question, and they didn't just answer it. They monetized it. They built a machine that doesn't sell toys. It sells potential, the possibility of joy, the illusion of luck, the idea that happiness is just one box away. If you're fast enough, lucky enough, worthy enough. It's not just smart marketing. It's psychological architecture. We convince ourselves it's harmless fun, just another plush, just one more figure for the shelf. But then the shelf fills, then the closet, then the credit card, and suddenly joy is replaced by clutter, and clutter becomes shame. So we tell ourselves stories. It's art, it's culture, it's community, it makes me happy. And sometimes that's true, but sometimes it's just the only way to make it all make sense. Labubu isn't alone. She's part of a much bigger pattern. Sneakers, trading cards, digital pets, loot crates, microtransactions, different shapes, same mechanics. We're living in an economy of engineered desire, built to keep us hooked on things that were never designed to satisfy us. You weren't supposed to win. You were supposed to keep playing. And maybe that's the scariest part. The monster was never in the box. The monster was the mirror the box held up to us, and how quickly we reached for it. Labubu was never just a toy. It was a feeling, a promise, a question we kept paying to answer. Pop Mart didn't sell plastic, they sold the thrill of maybe. And for a while, we believed it was worth it. But once you see the game, you can't unsee it. So before you open that next box, ask yourself, do I really want what's inside, or just the chase? If this hit home, drop a comment. Ever chased something that felt good until it didn't? And if you want more stories like this, subscribe. Curiosity is the only collectible that actually grows in value.